Bless all the paths our feet walk to be free. Bless all the paths our feet walk to be free.
The theme of this year for me has been, what are the different keys in this wonderful kingdom that we're walking in, living in, dreaming in, existing in? And the different nuances that we can see out there that will lend to us exploring our wonderful humanity and that wonderful divinity. So this week we're going to be talking about centering in our chakras with me. If I may have the very first page. So the basic definition of chakra is a Sanskrit word meaning wheel or vortex. It refers to each of the 7 energy centers of which our consciousness and our energy systems are composed. These chakras, or energy centers, function as pumps or valves regulating the flow of energy throughout our system. The functioning of the chakras reflects decisions we make concerning how we choose to respond to conditions in our life. As with all things in our reality, the chakras are linked to sound, light, and color. The base chakra, red, is where the Kundalini energy, or the sleeping serpent, is located. It lies dormant in most people unless it is activated. It's a very powerful energy that shoots up the entire body, activating all the chakras as it goes. And you see the picture I have here as he's going to scroll up. Does that look familiar to you guys? We've seen this symbol on and over since the dawn of time. It's how our DNA looks with the double helix. It's an amazing thing of the energy and how it spirals up the human body. When it says that sleeping serpent, that Kundalini, everything in this universe spirals. It's all about energy. It's all about the way it spirals up in us. And as we explore the different energies within us, we're going to realize that we've been awakening this Kundalini energy our whole lives. Every moment that we have another awareness, every moment that we're willing to take action on purpose, that's awakening. And I'm going to just go out on a limb here, being in the kind of community that I'm in, and suggest that we've all awakened this Kundalini energy. And sometimes it comes with a lot of wonders, and sometimes it comes with some woes. Ignorance is bliss type scenario. When we awaken this energy, it's going to bring us energy, it's going to bring us vitality, it's going to bring us wonder, and it is also going to be going through the parts of our body that have dis-ease within them, and where that vibrational aspect of us may be a little off kilter. May I have the next slide, please? Meridian Man, I called him. We're all energy. We're all meridians. As we talked last week, we talked about astrology. We talked about the cosmos. We talked about the vibrations of this 3D world coming at you. This week, we're talking about the vibrations of you emanating out into the world. This is your meridians. If you look at the central chakras, going back, you don't have to go back on the slide, but back to the meeting again, it talked about vortexes, and each one of these chakras is a vortex, or a circle as it means in the Sanskrit definition. But as you look at the meridians in our body, you see that these are energy centers, or vortexes of energy, and it spreads throughout our entire body. As you can see the different, and if you look at a scientific, just the, if you want to call the animated version of an acupuncture chart, you'll see very similar meridians. Now this is a little bit more cosmic, so I went with this for fun. But it does have all the different meridian points in our human body. So when we're talking about chakras, we're not just talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're talking about what's in this area and where the energy spreads out from it. Your chakra is simply a vortex, or a focal point, which is what a vortex is, right? It's that focal point. So this is where this energy comes within us, and we start to resonate with our harmonic vibration, with all the things we learned about astrology and all the things that you are going to continue to learn about astrology. I discovered recently that I'm a metaphysical Italian, meaning this. Our Aunt Margaret would always want to feed us and feed us and feed us, even if we were full. And we'd sit down after eating, and she'd go, "Eat!" And we're like, how much can we eat? I do that sometimes in my metaphysics. So what this year's theme is to present certain dishes, and you eat. You have to feed yourself, always. We always have to feed ourselves. As we look at different keys within us, it really are just plates of food. Now, sometimes in our plates of food, we have wonderful, nourishing food before us, but we become like that little 8-year-old that doesn't want to eat the broccoli. So as I present things to myself, to you, to anybody in the world, as you present things to me, as we present things to each other, realize that all we're doing is making a dish and putting it on the table, and it is up to them to eat. So, in honor of my Aunt Margaret, I'm going to stop force-feeding people and just present the dishes, and then you eat what you want to eat. If you like the flavors, you like the flavors. If you dislike the flavors, choose a different dish. This is about other aspects that we can find to help unlock within us our wonder and our divinity. And understanding energy and being in your chakra system, which you are, whether you know it or not, you're walking around in it all the time. But when we have a better understanding of it, then we become at choice with our daily lives. We become at choice with how we want to use this energy. We become at choice with what we're discovering in us and how that energy may just need a little help. May I have the next page, please? So this is what Scott does, and Dale, and a lot of other people in our community. This is about the meridian points that are in our hands and feet. But notice how, if you've ever listened to Scott talk about reflexology and talking about the feet, he says this is the base of the spine and it goes on up. Notice how the chakras of the hands and feet are the same exact way. As and I'm going to invite him to do a talk here one day, and I hope he says yes, which I kind of feel he will, to truly explain the reflexology points and all these things, but they all tie in together because they're meridians. Remember, we just saw Meridian Man a moment ago. Every single point on your hands and feet correlate with the meridian point inside your body. So when Scott is doing reflexology with you, he's working your chakras. He's helping you raise that energy up that inner flute. There's a lot of different terms that you're going to hear in the metaphysical airy-fairy world. Inner flute is one of them. Triple burner system, all kinds of wonderful things. That's actually part of in Chinese medicine. It's called triple burner system. So there's so many different aspects of nuances of terminology that you're going to hear, but the thing is what it is. When he or someone like him is doing that kind of work, they're working on your chakras at the same time. It's all about the meridians within our body. Acupuncture, acupressure, all these things are doing the same thing. Essential oils, which is something very new to me, I'm awakening to or being taught about, and realizing, wow, each one of these things hit a certain meridian point. Everything affects us. We know when we drink water how it affects us. We know when we drink coffee how it affects us. We know when we drink alcohol how it affects us. Well, it's also affecting your energy within your body. Everything in you is energetic. We're all just harmonic vibration, just at any given point. Now, the way our molecules are vibrating, they're vibrating in a way, and I always like to say it playfully, in agreement with me to keep me informed. That we know scientifically that I'm not solid, that nothing is solid. It's just how fast these molecules are vibrating. Well, so what about the unseen molecules? They're still there. You can feel it. We've all walked into a room before and we're like, oh, my, what's going on in here? And we felt the tension in the room. What you felt was the harmonic vibration of the room. And perhaps to the people, or a group of people, or one of the person was really in a really low vibration, really stuck in a center, processing whatever emotion they were processing, and as that energy was released from their body, it was released into the space, because we're all sharing the same 3D space. Your auric field goes so far beyond your body, it's not funny. And our auric field can be like an accordion. It can go in and out, depending upon where I am in my own vibration, and where I am in my own consciousness, and where I am on purpose about my vibration, my consciousness. All those things factor into raising our own vibration. May I have the next slide, please? Or whatever you want to call it. So, how well can you read that?
Not.
Good, I'll read it for you. Because I'm still discovering what it's going to look like up on the wall. We all are familiar with the basic chakras. Now this little chart, I like the way it broke it down because it broke down some different elements. So we have the very root chakra is red. It's located at the base of the spine. Its central issue is survival. Remember a couple of weeks ago we did Handbook to Higher Consciousness, so this would be the security center. This is that place of I need to have enough to exist. I need to be, I am, and I need to be. So it's our continuation of our physical 3D world. The central issue again is survival. The goals are stability, grounding, physical health, prosperity, need enough, and trust. The demon is fear, and the element is earth. Excessive characteristics, which this is why I chose this chart, because I liked it. Heaviness, sluggish, monotony, obesity, materialism, greed. If we're excessive in this chakra, these are the things that may show up in our life. If we're deficient in this chakra, we may be fearful, restless, underweight, or spacey. Not connected. This is a very connected. This is your root chakra. This is Mother Earth. This is your grounding to the ground. The next chakra is the sacral, which is going to be orange. It's your abdomen, it's your genitals, it's your low back, your hips, your lumbar plexus. The central issue will be sexuality and emotions. The goals would be fluidity, pleasure, health, sexuality, feeling. Remember when we did Handbook to Higher Consciousness, this was the sensation center of consciousness. So out of balance with this, I'm going to perhaps be a sex addict, or I'm going to always want to eat Twinkies, or I'm going to do everything that I can feel in excess because it makes me feel alive. The demon in this one is guilt. The element is water. Excessive characteristics are overly emotional, sex addiction, obsessive attachments. The deficient part of this would be frigid or impotent or rigid emotionally, numb, fearful of pleasure, not even allowing yourself to feel pleasure. So we can have, this is why I again like this chart, because it shows the excessive or the deficient part of these aspects, and it's all about harmonic vibration. It's just about getting harmony. When we're at choir practice sometimes, and when we do it the first time, Mel will hear it, and she's got that wonderful ear for it, and she'll know, oh, that ain't right. And we may not yet, but as we work on it and we adjust this, because what are you doing when you adjust your vocal cords? You're just changing the vibration coming out of it. So she guides us to that, because that's one of her gifts, to be able to hear those harmonies, and directs us to stretch or shorten our vocal cords. All those new vibrations come out. And when that perfect vibration comes out that hits a harmony, she smiles. And then we get to move on to the next song. But it's true. And it's wonderful, because it's taught me so much about hearing. I've been loving playing with the soundboard and stuff like that, but half of my training has been just listening to what she heard when it was incorrect, and then how it brought back into harmony, and then I was able to train my inner ear to hear that. Well, we can do that with our own harmonic vibrations as well. We can train ourselves to recognize where we're at. And I got ahead of myself a little bit. So, chakra 3. So we're moving up to the solar plexus. This is about power and will. That's the central issue. The goals are vitality, spontaneity, strength of will, purpose, and self-esteem. Now remember, this is the power center. This is out of balance. I'm going to tell you what you should do, what you need to do, and how if you don't, I'm going to really give you what's for, because I'm going to try to control and manipulate my world around me. It's also shitting on yourself, though. It's not just about out there. It's about, if I don't do this, I'm incorrect, I'm wrong. And that's, remember that book, Right Use of Will. This is about learning how to use your willpower. The demon in this chakra is shame. The element is fire. Dominating, controlling, aggressive, scattered, and constantly active. This is excessive energy in this chakra. Deficient would be weak will, poor self-esteem, passive, sluggish, and fearful. So it's just a matter of understanding where we are in the balance of our own selves as we're living and walking around in our body with the cosmos coming at us, all the different energy fields of the planets, all the different energy fields of this planet, because you're all planets, and how it vibrates with me. And it can let me know if I'm feeling some of these emotions, whether I'm deficient or excessive in a certain area. The next chakra is the heart chakra, the heart area. The central issue will be love and relationships. The goals are balance, compassion, self-acceptance. That's a big one. Self-acceptance. The first love and your last love must always be self-love. Mark Twain, he said a lot of neat stuff. Self-acceptance is a real big one. If anything that I'm teaching my daughter is to love herself. It's to just love herself. To love herself unconditionally. And to remember that all those different things that happen to us in life want to chip away at this part of us. The demon in us The demon in this area would be grief. The element is air. Excessive characteristics would be codependency, poor boundaries, and possessiveness and jealousy. Deficient here, I might be too shy. I might be lonely, isolated, lack of empathy for people, bitterness, critical mind, even though we're in the heart chakra. So this is just a place, again, to understand yourself and discover a key to your own self, to the guide within us. We've been all set up with it. We have so many different emotional guidance systems in our life to carry us through this journey, from our chakra systems, meridians, our emotions. All of them is part of our guidance system to navigate the 3D world. Spirit's calling. It's okay. It's okay. It's us. Remember where we're at.
I thought the angels were getting here early.
Yeah. They have. So as we do this, it's just, again, to remember the balancing. So let's move into the next chakra, which is the throat chakra. Its central issue is communication. The goals: clear communication, creativity, and resonance. You ever heard the monks where they can do the tones? It's like they're training their voices to vibrate at such a level where they're hitting a harmonic resonance, a harmonic vibration that's more than just one note at the same time. And we can all do that. It takes practice. What David Ross said, practice makes progress. You have to chant. You have to do that. You have to exercise your voice. Demon, lies. I can't tell a lie with my knee. And I can't tell you I love you with my knee either. It's all about expression. The element is sound. Excessive characteristics would be excessive talking, inability to listen, stuttering. So sometimes when you see someone stuttering, it's out of balance in that chakra. Maybe they weren't given enough time to talk when they were younger, so that energy amped up in them. This is what we mean about resonant vibration. It was so in their mind, they had to get it out, So now that chakra is at a frequency that isn't normal for it. So it's excessive, and all the energies that happen when vibration is excessive bring all these different things. Now, if I'm deficient in there, I might be have fear of speaking, poor rhythm, aphasia, just not being able to voice my opinion or to voice how I feel to you, or to just not say anything at all, to the point where people's throat chakras completely shut down and they can't voice anything. You know, one of the themes and the mantras that Scott and I and Margie and Art and all the people that have done this in the past have used in our workshops is that the only negative emotion is the one unexpressed. That if I can't get it out, I'm stuck, I'm in prison. And that's where it comes from. Here, this is what this is about. But as I unlock this and become in balance with it, this is where my creativity can come in too. We have wonderful creative aspects of our mind, our heart, our soul. But the creative aspect of this chakra lets us speak our creativity out into the world. Now remember, when we're talking in the handbook to higher consciousness, this is the cornucopia center of consciousness. This is where I'm saying life is wonderful. Life is treating me good. Life is grand and splendid. And that's what I'm talking about. Or, out of balance and indeficient, life sucks. Nobody likes me. Nothing ever works out. It's still coming out here. It's still the vibration that I'm putting out into the universe with my voice and my own creativity. So, create what you want. The universe is unbiased with your creation. As you put this creation out, it says, okay, Mark, there you go. Here's more of the less that you asked for. And then you're like, huh? I asked for more of less? Yes, you did. It was in the term, it was in the things you said. It was in the things that you talked about with your friends when you didn't even realize you were creating. We're always creating, and this is one of the most powerful creators here, because its whole energy pattern, its whole vortex is about creation. Now as we move on to the third eye, this is going to be our intuit, our imagination. That's the central issue here. Our goals are psychic perception, accurate interpretation, imagination, and clear seeing. The demon is illusion. This is where we get stuck in believing what we're seeing here instead of what we're seeing here. Because the third eye is going to give us more of the truth of the reality that we're in than our physical eyes. Because our physical eyes are open for interpretation, they're open for all the perspectives. You know, I was a jeweler for a long time. I did diamonds for a long time, and there's many facets to a diamond. And depending upon where the light is coming from, depends on where the light is going to refract back out to you. It's the same thing with our humanness. You're all diamonds. And at any given point, the light is going to shine through you, and the idea of a diamond is to return light back to us. It will return the full spectrum of light. That's why we've been allured to this stone for so long. Well, you as human beings are diamonds. You return the full spectrum of light. If you look at the colors of the chakras, it is the rainbow. It is the spectrum. It goes from red to high blue or ultraviolet. Infrared. Oh, wow. Just like science. Wow, go figure. We'll talk about frequency and all that stuff in a minute. But this is all about what this is, and this illusion that we get stuck in with our third eye. Because this is a hard one for some people to open because we get so stuck in, no, this is real, I see it, I feel it, I heard it, I know it. And that's what this is trying to tell us, that if we can get past the illusion and realize the element is light, we can breathe into this chakra and open up to so many different wonderful things. Now, if we're excessive in this characteristic, we're going to have headaches, nightmares, hallucinations, delusions, difficulty concentrating. That means I'm so amped up in my third eye, or maybe someone told me throughout my life, you have no vision, you can't see, you don't know, what do you know? All those kind of things are going to affect your third eye. You know, all the chakras are connected. They are, you know. So as I look at my third eye, I got to also remember my power center, my will center, my belief in myself center, so that I can remember to let myself open up and see. Now, if I'm deficient in this area, I might have poor memory, poor vision, unimaginative denial. No imagination, and I deny everything. Well, that ain't real. How do you know? Because I didn't see it. It's like, you know, a lot of us in the metaphysical community that are talking, you know, go to Abraham and things like that. When we talk about creating this reality, we come from the notion that seeing was believing, and we switched it to the notion that believing is seeing, and that when I see it in my mind's eye, I will create it to happen out here. That most of the time we've been going from the other way around, going, well, that's what life is. Look, there's a wall right in front of me. It's like, yeah, Mark, sure, but did you notice the door over there and over there too? We get so limited in our physical vision sometimes that our third eye is going to open us up to all the wonderful doorways that are within and without us. So it's just about being present with each one of these chakras, each one of these vortexes of energy as they're spreading through our bodies. Next we go to the crown chakra, which is the top of the head, or the cerebral cortex. The central issue is awareness. The goals are wisdom, knowledge, consciousness, spiritual connection, and the demon is attachment. Because as we're going into this cosmic conscious center, the one before it would be from the awareness center, but this is that cosmic conscious center. And, you know, one of the biggest premises of Buddhism is letting go of attachments. And sometimes when we get so stuck in this physical world and attached to everything we see and feel and think and know, prevents us from getting into this higher cosmic consciousness. It prevents us from remembering and allowing ourselves to just be simply part of the all that is, to simply be whatever molecule that is. To know that I am connected to know it, without a sense of having to achieve anything, without a sense of patting myself on the back because I became enlightened today. It's like, it's breathing into the knowing of it, and with this, it's like, you'll feel it. You'll feel that connection. You'll know you're there when you're there. The element here is thought, and that makes sense. This is that part of us, but it's that higher thought, it's that higher self-thought. If I'm excessive in this area, I may be overly intellectual. I may have spiritual addictions. I may have confusion or disassociate. So just breathe into this one for a moment, because sometimes we think we've hit a certain center of consciousness and we've kind of kidded ourselves, which is okay. It's all about discovery. There's no harm, no foul, no right, no wrong. This is a discovery. It's always a constant discovery, but this is an energetic discovery. This is about knowing that if I'm being over-intellectual about stuff or spiritually addicted, there's a book called Cutting Through Spiritual Materialism. And it really gets more into Hindu than I wanted to talk about, but the premise of it is it's dogma. Did anybody ever see the movie Dogma? Okay, it might cross some boundaries with you, but it's really funny too, because it pops the bubble on belief systems as opposed to good ideas and just nuances of what is. The thing is still what it is. I can believe it's raining and it may not be raining, but I can convince myself of that, and that might be in denial. But if I'm only going to intellectualize spirit and not feel it, that's kind of what this is talking about. Ram Dass says, I love quoting him because he's, got some neat quotes, that most of us know more than we live what we know. I always get that sentence discombobulated too. It's like, we know more, and this has happened to me. It's like, I know all these things. I want to experience them. And notice when you experience them. If you're deficient in this area, you might have learning difficulties, spiritual skepticism, limited beliefs, materialism, apathy. Be aware of that. This is your discovery. This is your discovery into your own higher conscious. This is how that you can transcend all the way up the inner flute and be connected to all that is. But you have to be aware of where you're at. If for some reason you're deficient in an area and you're getting too many headaches, maybe you're overthinking your whole spiritual game. Maybe you got narcissistic in your own spirituality. No harm, no foul. Be aware of it. This is all here for you to discover your own vibrations and how they're affecting your creation. May I have the next page, please? So as we look at the different chakras, they all had their own, can you guys see that? They all have their own affirmation. The root chakra, again, I am. This is my existence. This is my connectivity to the planet. It's a two-word affirmation. It's really, if you say it and feel it, and plant yourself. And sometimes I invite you guys to be physical with your body and actually get your hands up under there and grab your root chakra and press. And we're going to talk about some of these things in your body more. But as you look, this is the I am. As we go up to the sacral chakra, sacral, which is the sexuality, it is about I feel. That is the affirmation. This is where our sexuality and sensuality comes from. But this is also about food and different things too. Now, remember, we came down here with all these physical senses so we could feel. This is the chakra that does that. The next chakra up, the solar plexus, is I do. Remember, this is about the willpower. This is a part of us that is active in the world. As we move up, I love. That's a no-brainer for us, right? But it's I love unconditionally. I love all. Always us living love. I've been saying another prayer for my own self that I put on my refrigerator. I said, Spirit, may I see the beauty in your eyes. It's simple little sentences we can help ourselves to keep this chakra vibrating in a good space. Most of us live in a heart chakra a lot because most of us love in a good way. But we have to be aware of all the different chakra systems. The next one up would be the throat chakra, I speak. The third eye, I see. And the crown chakra, I understand. These are all the different stones that come with those chakras. Now, there are a lot more stones that go there. This is all called the typical 7. And all these stones have different nuances. Hematite is there's no way I'm going to read this. Hematite is very grounding. Its effect on your bloodstream, it activates the spleen, increases resistance to stress, helps circulate oxygen throughout the body. It strengthens physical and etheric bodies, energizing and vitality, and that's the root chakra. Have you ever felt hematite? It's a very heavy stone. The next stone up is carnelian, and that's your sacral. And carnelian is very, my goodness. No, I got it with this light. It's a variety of alchemy. It's highly evolved mineral healer. It energizes blood. When I had TTP, Scott gave me a carnelian bracelet in the hospital, and I wore it the whole time because it was a blood disorder. It aids the kidneys, lungs, liver, gallbladder, pancreas, aids tissue regeneration, vitalizes physical and emotional bodies. So there's so many different things that these stones do. Citrine, very abundance energy. This is a solar plexus. It attracts abundance. It's also a variety of quartz, but it's good for the kidneys, colon, liver, gallbladder, digestive systems, the heart, tissue regeneration, detoxifies physical and emotional. So all these things have a vibration to them too. And that's how these things work. When we talk about animal medicines, when we talk about crystals, when we talk about stones, they're all going to vibrate at a certain frequency, and these frequencies help us. Rose quartz is the heart stone. We know this very much because it's very much associated with the color and the spectrum of pink, and heart and love. It's also got some other qualities to it, like aids kidneys, circulatory system, increases fertility, eases sexual, emotional imbalances, and helps clear stored anger. So again, the vibrational aspects of these stones. The next one going up is sodalite. Aids pancreas, balances endocrine systems, strengthens metabolic and lymphatic systems, balances male-female polarities, alleviates fear, calms and clears the mind, slightly sedative and grounding. The next one up would be amethyst. This is the third eye. I love amethyst. My whole journey in my near-death experience is amethyst, and since then I've attracted all this amethyst and welcoming more to come at me. But it strengthens our endocrine and immune systems, but enhances that high brain activity in pineal and pituitary glands. Powerful blood cleanser and energizer, helps mental disorders, purification, regeneration on all levels of consciousness. Transmutes one's lower nature into the more highly aspects like your higher self, that God self. And then clear quartz. Clear quartz is clear. It amplifies everything. It's a thought stone, but it's also all that is stone, so to speak. Where does it have it here? Enhances the crystalline properties of blood, body, and mind. Activates and enhances pineal and pituitary glands. Emotional balancer. Dispels negativity in one's energy field and environment. And communicates with the higher self and spirit guides. These are just some nuances of the stones. There's a lot more stones that are associated with these chakras because there's a lot more nuances of the chakras. May I move on to the next slide, please? Mudras. So, that's what I was talking about when you were talking about with the secret. So, we have been doing this since we were little kids. We've been doing mudras. Now I lay me down to sleep. 2 major chakra points right here, folks. This wasn't a thing to just pray to be a good little boy or girl. The masters knew since the dawn of time about energy, and these are hand mudras. Now if you look, and I think you can see these pictures pretty clearly, and this is some to practice. When you see people sitting there meditating like this is a root chakra hand position. The index fingers, the thumb. You see the sacral chakra. I mean, you can see these pictures very clearly. And it gives, bless you, it gives you the chant to go with it. Everything is vibration. So when I put my hands in a certain position, I'm also tapping it. Remember, our whole body's got meridian points, and as defined in Sanskrit, a chakra is a vortex or circle, an energy point, a focal point of energy. Well, as you looked at Meridian Man before, and I'm sure you've all seen different charts and meridians and things like that, you'll see that during the meridians, they'll have little dots there. They're focal points. They're hot spots. You have them right here in your palms of your hands. They're at the tip of your fingers. When I do energy work with people, I just put my hands on them. Stuff is happening. It's coming out of my hands. If you've ever done energy work with yourself or someone else, you can start feeling your hands vibrate. Practice makes progress, just like anything else. You have to go within you and go, like, is this on? And it'll come on. You may not have to bang it on your side, but you have to be present with yourself to know that you're flowing energy. Flowing energy and honoring that you believe in yourself enough to know that you're magical and that this energy is within us all, and all you have to do is go, and it's going out. How more I am in tune with my own self and my own harmonic vibrations depends on what's coming out at any given point. And when we can get into that heart chakra and use these other modalities to help us bring our own self, I'm doing it with one hand, so it's going to shift your own energy as you're doing these mudras. Just like when we just, as little kids, put our hands together and pray, we may have not have known anything about energy or anything like that, but we just felt better. Just honor these things and discover how many different mudras there are in hand signals, in body signals, and doing all this. I'm not doing any yoga for you today. Go see Jen Lingo and have her teach you the wonders of the Kundalini Yoga and some of the different mudras that happen in our bodies and our hands. If I may have the next slide, please. So, there's all different kinds of keys to looking at our chakras. And I didn't even plan on this part of the talk until I found this. I'm like, I like this. Because it's about what we're feeding ourselves as well. And this, I'm glad this came out that you guys can read it, not have to necessarily read every single one. But look at all this. Right there at the root chakra grounded. All the root vegetables, potatoes, beets, parsnips, radishes, red onions, garlic, and all the red fruits, apples, tomatoes, cherries, red peppers, watermelon, pomegranate, red beans. All of this helps that chakra. We can feed our chakras. I'm so happy finding this part because this is something that was a new discovery for me as I was doing this talk. And I'm learning so much about juicing and different foods and now oils and things like that. But knowing if I'm out of balance in my deficient or excessive in any one of my chakras, my vegetable brothers and sisters can help me too. And look at the colors as we go up to the next chakra, which is orange. We go cantaloupe, oranges, mangoes, peaches, pumpkins, squashes, almonds, yams. I thought they said yarn. I'm like, I want to eat yarn. Honey, cinnamon, ginger, apricots, all the orange critters. Vegetable brothers and sisters. As we go into the next chakra, which is, pardon me, in this picture that's supposed to be yellow, as you look and discover, you're going to find so many nuances and so many different interpretations of chakras, which I'm going to show you in a minute too. But we've got what? The corn, butternut squash, lemon, sunflower seeds, chamomile, chickpeas, mustard, all the different kind of yellow spices and fruits. Moving up to the heart chakra, broccoli, kale, spinach. Look at all these green veggies here, parsley, peas. Who would have thought asparagus was good for my heart? My heart chakra. Meaning we know the health part of it, but it's like, eat your greens, you'll love better. They didn't tell us that, did they? As we go into expressing your truth in the throat chakra, it's water, juices, smoothies, broths, teas, ice pops, coconut water, seaweed, kelp. Not a lot of blue fruit in the world, blue vegetables in nature, but this is the blues. They're actually purple. So as we're doing this, water, all these different juices, this is the element of foods that will help you here. And as we look at the very interesting part of, well, let me go to the third eye, which is the blueberries, purple grapes, plums, purples, lavenders, cabbage, grape juice, wine. And everybody just stop at the wine. Purple onions, eggplants. I never have in my life just married these two together until just last week. I'm so delighted because I'm like, wow, I can eat for my chakras. Because for me, I'm really trying to learn how to nourish my body instead of eat what my tongue likes. Because my tongue likes a lot of crap that is just not good for me. We want to make this a deal. See, the Italian's coming out. I want to make this deal that I'm nourishing my body and still enjoying it. Well, I enjoy all those things. Actually, I really do enjoy all those things. So let ourselves enjoy them on purpose. But do you notice the top one? Yeah. This is all those things where, he went into the desert for 40 days. And Buddha learned a lot about the suffering too, and he's like, hey, I could actually eat something. So there's a balance in all of it. But for this moment, it's saying that the food that you feed yourself to attain this chakra, to be experiencing the energy of this chakra, is fasting, breathing, meditating. And it's wonderful. And it's vitalizing too. If you've ever done it and really been in present with it, you know that at the end of your fasting, breathing, or meditating, you were actually revitalized, you actually had a lot of energy, and you felt that connection. Now, may I go to the next slide, please? So, where did I go? Okay. Today's meditation, we did a little bit of sound. And I'm just going to do a real short version of it today. Everything is vibrations. Everything is frequency. Frequency is cycles per second. I'm always talking about FM, frequency modulation, and that spirit radio is up here. It's just a wider bandwidth. More cycles per second. More ones and zeros can fit there. So it's not about better or worse. The basic megahertz of the root chakra, or hertz, is 396. Basically. And it's going to sound like that. It's a C. It's just the vibration of a C. You just let it vibrate with you for a while. I have a rock in my pocket. The first time I started using tuning forks, I did 3 sessions in a row and I was using my knees. And I was really in the flow. So I didn't feel it until I went home that night and had 2 big old egg knots on my knees. It's like a double knee. And this is a C. And as you go up the different vibrations. Now, if you were just, remember the nuances of last week and who you are. So if I measured your root chakra, I might not get 396 hertz. You might be vibrating a little bit differently. You might be deficient, you might be excessive, you might be perfect for you, and that nuance is going to be a little bit different because of, remember everything we talked about last week with the nuances of you in the cosmic world. This is the next chakra up. This is the sacral chakra. This is the D. This is 417 hertz. And just let the vibration go in with you for a while. When I'm doing energy work, I won't do that, but I'll do this. You ever had to shake something loose? Sometimes when you're doing energy work for yourself or on someone else or receiving it, you may see all kinds of nuances like, what the devil are they doing? It's just like trying to shake something free. Moving into the next chakra, again, these are just a real, here's an E. Now Melanie's probably being able to, and other musicians and people who are very attuned to musical notes can see that we're going on the, what's it called, scale?
Platonic? No, not platonic.
No, what's the name of it? Pentatonic scale. So, that's okay. I'm cool with myself.
Skill is my friend.
Exactly. And people, and that's what I'm saying. They're going to notice in these nuances. Now, you see where it says solfeggio up there? The word solfeggio? That doesn't mean hertz. It means do, re, mi. That's the expression of these as well. So we're just moving up the chakra system. And this is an F. This is your heart chakra. 639 hertz. And again, I want to do this briefly. If you're at meditation, you got a little bit more of it. This is your throat chakra. Because we all need to shake up our communication a little bit sometimes. Or could stand. But it's just being aware of the different sounds that come out of these chakras. You notice how that pitch gets higher and stronger as it goes up? There's more. There's 852 cycles per second going on right now. Basically, if we actually had a meter, an oscilloscope or something that I could hook up to this and see the sine wave, it may vary a little bit. This is a basic C. Well, I mean a basic A, what I'm at right now. There's so many different kinds of tuning forks with so many different vibrations. And now we're going to go into, this is your crown chakra. And just letting that vibrate in the room for a minute. And just being in that. And just knowing that everything that you are is that. And these are simple. These are just C, D, E, F, G, A, B. There's ones that are, there's so many different frequencies. Remember when we looked at Meridian Man, if this is my root chakra, it's down here, it's governing this whole part of me. My next chakra isn't just governing right here, it's ouch. It's governing all of me. I know, Coyote comes up. So as these tuning forks or other modalities, like Christopher Timms was here and he had a sound table. I'm going to invite him to do a talk soon too, because I would like him to do a talk on sound and really talk about all the different nuances of frequency and stuff if he's open to it, which I believe he would be. But it's all about who we are in here, and as these different vibrations are affecting my chakras, I can help myself move up. Now, may I have the next one? So, you're going to see as you discover and start looking and researching about chakras that there is so much information about chakras out there, and that there's a lot of new studies, if you want to call them studies, that are broadening. Our etheric field goes way beyond. It goes down into the earth and it goes up into the ethers, and that's what this is depicting. It's got your basic chants, your basic 7 chakras, and then it's got more. the more, the more, the more. And if you look at where the first and 7 are called the 3D, where the next 8 through 15 are called the 4th dimension, which is what we would probably define as spirit dimension. And then there's that 5th dimension stuff, which that's the stuff I talk about loosely because I like wearing these clothes and staying out of the Baker Act stuff. But joking aside, if you delve into these, you'll know that as your etheric body goes on, there's so many different dimensions here, and I want this to be a talk about all the different dimensions. Just be aware of how far your ethereal body goes, and that we are all connected to all that is. And the most important thing in all of this, may I have the next slide, please, is to remember it's still all about love. Just remember who we are always. I can go on and go, well, my chakra's vibrating at, I don't know, what the hell was that? What resonance? 470 megahertz per second. What's yours? That could be a pickup line. Could be a pickup line too. Hey, nice chakras. It's about blending with each other, being connected with each other, and knowing that harmony is harmony. When Mel teaches us harmonies, it's the music that comes. And when we can harmonize with all of our chakras and remember to always us living love and to be able to see the beauty in all of our eyes all the time, this is one of the keys to your own kingdom. This is one of the keys to the divinity and the wonder of magic within you, is to just simply remember that as we come together as man and woman, woman and woman, man and man, friends and friends, cousins, lovers, doesn't matter, well, not, change that. Thank you, Coyote. That we remember it's all about being with each other and discovering all the different nuances of us. So use this as a key. Discover your chakras. Find out more about meditation. Find out more about Kundalini energy. Go get somebody to do tuning forks on you, or sit on the sound table, or go do yoga, tantric yoga, or Kundalini yoga, and discover the wonders of how what's vibrating in you is really going to make the most of your own world. Thank you, Homotakos.
Guru, 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 Guru,
It's a beautiful song. Something that you could just sit down 5 minutes every day and just do that mantra and wake up feeling balanced afterwards. It feels really good, doesn't it?
Bless all